All right, there's one more section that we have to worry about accounting for Sig Figs, and that's in multiplication and division. Much of our time this year will be spent multiplying and dividing numbers. And I find this to be a lot easier than if you were adding and subtracting two numbers and rounding to the appropriate number of significant figures. So multiplying and dividing, we're going to start out, again, looking at our examples down here. We're going to start with example 1 as I talk through these. First thing you want to do, let's count the number of Sig Figs in each of the numbers provided, each of the measurements provided. All right, so in 5.00, we've got 3 Sig Figs. We have trailing zeros, but there is a decimal point. So I just make a little notation right above my number so I don't forget. In 12.00, we have 4 Sig Figs. Again, we have trailing zeros with a decimal point, so they all count. Okay, then let's go and just multiply or divide. I will never make you divide without a calculator. You can always have a calculator and divide. But I do expect you to multiply by hand. Okay? So 5 times 12, this I can probably do in my head. I know it's 60. All right, so 60, just as it's written, is 1 Sig Fig. Okay, so let's worry about what we're going to do to round. So our final answer round the final answer to the number of Sig Figs round the final answer to the least number of Sig Figs. How about that? We'll change that. Okay, so the least number of Sig Figs given on our question in our example was 3. So right now I have 60. That doesn't have 3 Sig Figs. It only has 1. So if I add a decimal point, I now have 2 Sig Figs. To add a third Sig Fig, I can add another 0. 60.00 now has 3 Sig Figs. You can always add zeros if you don't have enough Sig Figs. You just need to make sure that your decimal point's there. All right. Next example, I'm actually going to have to multiply this one out. So let me pop the page, give myself a little bit more room. Multiplying, you can put the bigger of the two numbers on top. So I'm going to take 15.5, and then you line everything up as far to the right as possible. So the 35, the 5 goes under the 5, the 3 goes under the 5, and 15.5. All right, so two-digit multiplication, I'm going to multiply 5 throughout. So we have 5, carry a 2. So 25 plus 2 is 27, carry another 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. You indent 1, you can add a 0 there if you like, and then we start with the 3. 3 times 5 is 15, carry a 1, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16, carry a 1, 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Okay. You've done adding all of your digits, you add the two lines together. 5, 12, 13, plus 1 is 14, carry a 1, 5. Now when you have decimal places, you got to worry about how many decimal places you have. I've got 1 decimal place and 2 decimal places. So I have to move my imaginary decimal 3 places. So right now, unrounded, 5.425. I forgot something. I forgot to count my Sig Figs. So if I count my Sig Figs in my first number, 15.5, I get 3. No zeros, I just count everything. My second number, I've got a leading 0, ignore it. So I only have a 3 and a 5. So that's 2 Sig Figs. Okay, we just learned you're going to round to the fewest number of Sig Figs. So the fewest is 2. So go back to my answer. I have 5.4. I'm going to cut off after the 4. The 2 does not round the 4 up, so my final answer is 5.4. I find this to be much easier than adding and subtracting. All right, so that's it for now. Multiplying, you would just look, or excuse me, dividing, you would just look at your calculator and get your answer, and round the calculator answer to the correct number, Sig Figs. Hopefully, you'll do very well on our quiz as it's coming up. Talk to you next time.